We are getting closer to that wonderful, magical time of year where the engines start roaring, drivers strapped in tight for 36 rounds of NASCAR racing. And I couldn't be more happier to be joined by, well, the first guy didn't pick up the phone, so we got Blaine.
Yep, that's enough.
So if I got to deal with him, y'all got to deal with him. So,
I'm the only person that answered the phone. What are you talking about?
well, true. Not wrong there. But, it happens. It happens. I gotta find
Sure,
better
all
friends. I
two
know.
viewers gonna be real upset.
I gotta find better friends.
All two viewers are really gonna be upset.
Wow. Hey, I got 18 in the last NASCAR one, okay? So, anyway, back on topic. NASCAR, they came out with a slew of rule changes. I went a little bit into depth about it in the previous video. Wanted to do it again with someone who's a bit more mechanically inclined and has a bit more experience in the dirt side of things. And, well, let's just dive into the first one, a guaranteed spot via the open exemption provisional. Meaning, if there is a driver that has the name, they are, and they, and the team puts in a request to NASCAR, NASCAR can approve it, and they will be guaranteed a spot in that race. Uh, Lane, your reaction to that?
Ugh. Don't like that one. Like, how can you give a spot to Helio Castroneves but not a spot to your seven-time champ?
Yeah, yeah. It, it it definitely opens the door for stuff to go for really to have a PR nightmare to have Helio Castroneves, who is a supremely talented driver, uh, multiple time F1 champ. Uh, I think he's four-time Indy 500 champ, 4 or 5 times.
Or
Okay, talented driver, but he doesn't have a singular start in any of NASCAR's top three series.
the
And
closest thing he has is that Tony Stewart All-Star thing.
yeah, and it opens up the door for Jimmy Johnson, who really actually has earned that provisional to miss the Daytona 500 while Helio Castroneves gets in because he's got the name. While we have someone who, like Mike Wallace, who has actually spent time in NASCAR, a significant amount of time. Granted, he's been off a decade, but he should have the right to try to qualify. And I know you have you had you have your idea on how to kind of somewhat rectify this current situation. You want to go in on that?
I mean, why don't we have testing or some kind of practice the week of the 500? I don't get it. Like, we have no practice where Helio's on the ground qualifying with no track time. Like, then they're gonna not approve someone that's driven a cup car for what, 30 years?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, granted, the cars are different now, but he still has the stock car experience.
and it's not like it's a very technical track that they're running at. I mean, pedal to the metal, turn left. I, I, I hate to break it down to be it that simple, but at Daytona, It really is. A- And because, and especially at Daytona, where as long as you understand drafting, which Mike Wallace does, he's been doing this forever. What's the harm of letting him attempt to do this?
Hasn't he won a race at Daytona?
Uh, that I
I'm
couldn't
about to
tell
look it
you
up right now.
off the top of my head, but I mean he's been doing this for a very long time. He he's won four in the Cup or four in the Xfinity Series, five in the trucks. So, and he does have a win at Talladega in the trucks.
It's not like he
And
doesn't know how to drive these tracks.
yeah, I mean it's it's quite laughable to sit here and say that he shouldn't be he shouldn't be in this. He's got a win at Dover, IRP. He does have a win at Daytona in in the Xfinity Series,
Yeah,
2004.
he has more than 800. He has more than 800 starts in the top three divisions.
I mean,
Nope,
granted,
can't let him race.
granted he's been his last race was in 2015, but again, it's not like he was sitting twiddling his thumbs the last decade. He's out running other stuff. This is not foreign territory for Mike Wallace, and he should undoubtedly get a shot to qualify, and Helio Castroneves should have to qualify. Now, if you want to have this kind of exemption for the Xfinity or truck, okay, I get that.
I like the rule.
But this is NASCAR's Premier League. You should not get a provisional unless you are a past champion of the Cup Series.
Nope.
You said yep or no.
Give us a guy that's a nope. Give it to a guy that's never driven a stock car before.
Right? It. I don't know. It's. I,
That's like I have no problem with Helio. I think he's a great driver. I assume he'll probably do just fine in the 500, but it's just the point. Why is he getting a lock-in spot?
yeah,
Like,
because he's
meanwhile,
got
you
the
have a
name.
seven-time champion. Because you have a seven-time champion in that series is going to run it, and he can potentially miss the 500. I mean, but
And
here's the thing though, with NASCAR, as we know them, they will change the rules the week up. If Jamie Johnson misses qualifying or something like that, he'll be in the 500. It's NASCAR. They change the rules whenever they want to.
yeah, um,
Because the political, the not the political, the backlash of the fans,
oh my
if that
goodness.
did happen, oh my goodness,
All 17 fans left of NASCAR.
that would be bad. Would be real upset.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I don't watch NASCAR that much anymore. The only race I watch is Daytona anymore anyway.
but so the other rule change that has been done is to the damaged vehicle policy. Now that when the clock runs out, you take it behind the wall, get it fixed, and then you can bring it back. Over the past decade, if you had to take it behind the wall after a crash, you're done. But now they've tweaked it to pretty much back to the old days where you would have cars running at half speed, essentially open wheel modified style. Uh, any objections on that one?
I mean, it's the fact that this is even a rule change is insane. It should have never happened in the first place.
Yeah, I get why NASCAR made the rule to begin with.
Like I me and you have talked about it before, like off this. I've said before, if it's in the final stage, I understand to tell them you're done. But if you get wrecked in the first 10 laps and then you just say you're done for the race, like what? Like I understand if there's like a rule, like the final stage, if you get involved in a wreck and go behind the wall, you're done. That's one thing. I understand that. If there's only like a third of the race left.
Yeah, I mean, and most
That
crashes
makes sense.
like and most crashes like that, I mean, they're packing up anyway. They're not looking to try to
Exactly.
fix it. So, and then the one that I think is by far the dumbest one of this is the playoff waiver adjustment. So if so like last so t we'll just take last year for an example with Kyle Larson. He goes off to race in the Indy 500. It gets rain back a few out. The rain delays it for a few hours. The rain cuts the Coke 600 short. Larson misses it entirely. NASCAR, after several days and making a non-story into a massive story, uh, uh, Larson was eventually granted that waiver. But now starting this year and moving forward, if that happens again, Larson is still eligible for the playoff, but he does not get any of the points that he's earned up to this point, nor will he get any playoff points going forward. Blaine,
Yeah, that
your
was
reaction?
insane. That's
Uh,
insane. You want to
It,
punish a guy for making your sport look better?
yeah,
Like what?
like it,
Like Kyle Larson going to run the Indy 500 does nothing but exposes NASCAR to new fans, and you're gonna punish a guy for that,
and
and you're
yeah,
gonna punish one of your top five best drivers. I personally think it's the best driver, but it's one of the top five best drivers right now in NASCAR, and you're gonna punish him because he's gonna go run the Indy 500. Like,
he is easily one of the he is definitely a top three most marketable driver. The skill that he has on pavement, the skill that he has on dirt, he is
dude, he just
easily
won the Chili Bowl last weekend. Like, he
and
can
can,
jump in anything and win the race, and you're gonna tell him no. What happens if he goes and wins the Indy 500 and is late back to Coke 600? He's doing all the victory lane stuff.
yeah, I mean it's a disaster waiting to happen. And I saw a guy on TikTok, and I think I sent you that TikTok. Um, Guy was pretty much praising the rule and saying how it's a good thing. And I I I have no idea how you can say that
Probably
this is
Joey
a
Logano fan.
I have no idea. I mean, I like Logano, so that was a bit of a low blow, uh,
I know you do.
but to I don't understand why you feel that why NASCAR feels it necessary to essentially bust a kneecap over something that is not that serious. And then it begs the question. I mean, and they said that that they can get medical waivers where if they miss a race, they won't be penalized. But it's it's creating a very, very ugly situation coming down the pike. Should something happen on Memorial Day weekend where Larson's not going to be able to get back in time, and
And you're gonna take away one of your championship favorites
you're going to
from.
severely hinder what we expect to be a championship favorite. And as of right now, he is one of the top favorites according to Vegas to win a championship. It's so unnecessary, completely stupid. The only punishment that should be going in this case Larson's way for missing the race is just not getting the points from that race.
Yeah, that would
We
make sense. Like, you have to get a waiver. It should literally be the top 16 cars, however they want to do it, with where they are in points. It
Yeah. And
shouldn't
then
matter if you better be. So that's their own fault. It should hurt you in the long run. But taking away points from is kind of some
yeah,
BS.
yeah. Yeah, it's I I don't get NASCAR's thing there, especially on a weekend on a weekend like the Indy 500 where they are going to get 2 million more people watching than what NASCAR is going to get.
Yeah,
That
last year I watched the Indy 500 over Charlotte.
yeah, we all did. I mean, granted we tried to switch over to that, but the race was already ended via rain. So the and then the last rule is the race manipulation crackdown from Martin's, pretty much akin to what we saw at Martinsville last year in the final race with the Austin Dillon and Ross Chastain, essentially not allowing other drivers to get by William Byron to get Byron into the race, into the final four. And some would say that that was race manipulation. Others would say it's gamesmanship. Where do you lean on that one?
I mean, I'm on the side of I don't know why that's a problem. You have teammates, you should really use them.
Well, that was one of the big
Like, it's
things.
one thing if you're causing a caution to help out your teammate, but if it's on track and they're blocking, okay, so you're not allowed to block in NASCAR all of a sudden.
Yeah, because there are a lot of ways that you could see where that could be manipulated. Because and we're gonna
Like, the
see
only
it.
problem I have with it is when it's like a Boyer situation when he spun out intentionally to get across
Yeah, but it
because it was
but
so obvious.
it also opens up the door for like um for a situation at Daytona where you may see Ford pushing a Chevy on the outside and then two Chevys on the inside. Well, or a Chevy pushing a Ford and then two Chevys on the inside. That Chevy that's pushing that Ford, he's going to let up and he's going to drift back to help the Chevys. That's race manipulation.
They do that already. They do that
And,
already though.
and so and it's going to happen. Is NASCAR going to come in and jump on them? No, because it's a part of the
I
race.
highly doubt it.
It's part of racing. And but and it's also akin to a the bigger issue of NASCAR where it incentivizes to do stuff like that with the point system, which we'll get into that later. But yeah, and if I were to tweak the rule, I would say that was very close to the line. I don't think it crossed the line, but like in a situation like we saw with MWR all those years ago, I would say major fines in the millions of dollars, and the drivers, the crew, the and all the cars that involved are parked for the next 5 races, and those carry
Yeah,
over to the next year if applicable. So
but the problem is they ain't got a park cars for 5 races because NASCAR can't. They don't have enough cars in the first place at this point.
yeah, that's another major issue as well,
Like,
and
that's the
it's
problem with that because you can't park anybody because when you only have 33 cars showing up every week, you can't park anybody. It's already embarrassing as it is.
true. So
When the only cars that show up are literally charter cars, so it's kind of ruining the system, isn't it?
yeah, which we'll
Then
get
you
into
have
that.
someone that's trying to run a race like Mike Wallace, and nope, we can't let
Yep.
you race.
Yeah, but that is That is those are all the major rule changes that have been made over the off season. And we also got word last week that a new team is coming up to the Cup Series. They're put, sticking their toes into the big leagues. Good old Junior
It's about damn
Motorsports.
time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Justin Allgaier will be piloting the Junior Motorsports Chevrolet. Um, do they have a number decided on it, or do you know?
40.
Okay. Okay.
Number
Yep.
40.
The 40.
The car
Okay.
looks, look at it right now.
Okay. So I mean, we were both Junior fans back in the day. What are your thoughts on Junior and Kelly making that jump?
Like I said, it's about damn time. We've been waiting on it for way too long now. At least it's around like a part-time type deal.
Yeah, and I mean it just goes to the stupidity of the charter system. It is keeping Junior Motorsports out of the Cup Series. It's it's something that never should have been instituted. I didn't like it from the start. It was a bad idea at the time, and it still continues to be a very bad idea. It's completely gutted the back end of the of and like you were saying earlier, we're now getting 36 cars per race most weekends, and almost never outside the Daytona 500 is there a you have to qualify or you're going home, because we never get past 40 cars ever outside of the Daytona 500. And even in the Daytona 500, there's a few years where no one was in danger of going home. That is a
I
problem.
believe this year there's like 45. This year's 500 qualifying, that should be exciting in the duels. There's actually be like five cars that can miss it.
Yeah, that's about the average though. There's about
Not the last couple of years. It's been like 42.
yeah,
It's gone down a lot.
yeah. I mean,
But find where I can buy some of those whiskers on the car.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember like there were 10 to 15 cars that had the possibility that were in danger of going home.
Dude, oh 07, there's almost 20 cars. There had 58 cars entered. That's insane.
Yeah,
We'll never see that kind of stuff again.
not with the way NASCAR is going. I mean, for goodness sake,
Even yet, it's gotten too expensive. Even
I,
without the charters, it's still gotten too expensive. But
I mean, Stuart Haas had to
in those,
close down.
yeah,
Chase Elliott cannot get one solid sponsor throughout the season. Your most popular driver, your most marketable driver, cannot get that singular sponsor throughout the year to build that brand, and that is a problem. So, um, moving on to the big news that at least that has gotten both of our gears grinded is, well, Mike Wallace has been denied an opportunity to qualify for the Daytona
we already
500.
talked about that, sir.
We did?
We already
Well,
talked about that.
yeah, we
Yeah,
touched on it. We touched on it, but
we. I mean, I said everything I had to say about it.
okay. All right. So, yeah, Mike Wallace out, completely stupid. He should be given the opportunity. And
The
then,
biggest thing I said is just give him like they have Daytona for a week. You want to tell me we can't have people there on like Monday to just do like a day of like test and tune of one practice session for everybody to have people like that get up to speed and let them attempt to get their license?
apparently not. They're busy
And
on
then we're
Monday.
gonna let Paleo just come right in. Like I don't understand. Like we literally have the track for pretty much all week because I'm pretty sure Arkansas is on track like Monday. Or no, not anymore.
But
So they have the track for a week. You can't tell me they can't put like a test and tune on Monday just to make sure guys like that can catch up to speed. Make sure everyone can get around the track. Because in
yeah,
years past, we've had some of these rookies that come in, like going, they have issues because they've never driven the car before.
like Quinn Huff.
Like there just needs to be one practice session. That's all they need.
Yeah,
And don't
especially
even let it be a pack qualifying. Like don't even let it be a pack practice session. Just let it be a single car. Everyone gets 5 laps to just kind of shake down their car.
yeah.
It's
I
not
mean,
that hard to figure out. Like
uh,
Indianapolis for the Indy 500 has fucking 8 different like practice sessions before qualifying. They have like 8 practice sessions.
and then they have like another
That's not
three
even
more
counting the
after.
test and tune they run for like. Yeah, that doesn't even count the test and tune they run for months before that.
I mean, they're in Indianapolis for a
Like,
full month.
yeah, and they practice almost every day for like 3 weeks. Like, you want
Yeah,
to tell me NASCAR's biggest race can't have one practice session before qualifying?
we got to cut the costs.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure every team would rather have that one practice before qualifying for Daytona than any other track.
Yeah, just
It's the biggest race of the year, and there's no practice.
yeah.
Sending guys out there on the duels with no practice drafting. Oh yeah, that looks like fun.
That's
I
always
wonder why the duels are always so boring.
well that and like there's like that and like they've gotten to the point where they're trying to win, but they're more concerned about wrecking. So now,
Like, yeah, they don't know how their car's gonna react.
yeah, I mean it's some like, and this is like an every week thing. Like they need more time out on that track. It's
Well, I'll get into that in the next part because I already have an idea what I would do if I were in NASCAR.
yeah.
Because it would be the same
So
thing every week. It'd be the same schedule every week, where everyone would know what the schedule is before you enter the race.
yeah. Um. So yeah. I mean, let's just move on with it. The top things that you would do to make NASCAR great again. You are given the power to make any and all changes that you wish. The first thing that I would do is get rid of the charter system and go back to this open system. You have, and if you want to do the 40 cars, you want to stick at 40, fine. I'm fine. I don't care how many cars there are. You want to stick at the 40? Okay. Top, we'll go top 30 in owners points are guaranteed a spot in the race. Kind of like what it was in the old system. And then, it, and then everything else is open. If you got a car, it passes inspection, you are good to qualify. Attempt it. Go for it. Second thing I would do, get rid of the damn stages. They have become annoying. They are momentum breakers. It gets you
Oh
out of the flow.
wow, there actually is one practice session for qualifying this year.
Oh, hey, see if
It's
Mike
an hour long, and I'm like, why? So why couldn't Mike Wallace even attempt?
be,
They're giving him a chance to get track time before qualifying to know if he has the speed.
I don't know. I
Like I haven't looked at the schedule. I literally just looked at it, and that's the first thing I see. Absolutely insane. Oh,
welcome to
here's the
NASCAR.
full schedule. Holy cow! I've never noticed this before. Shout out to JC.
What's going on?
I found the full like week schedule of Daytona,
Okay. Yeah,
like every day and times.
we'll get into that in the next motorsports episode.
Yeah.
But um and then get rid of the stages, get rid of the charters, get rid of the playoff system, scrap it entirely. Go back to the Winston Cup style 36 races, all based on points. It because all the gimmicks are not working. What worked the best is having that week to week storyline where you had to come back next week to see how it continues on. Formula One does it. It makes for a tremendous story. Last few years outside of last year, yeah, Max dominated. It turned into a snooze fest. But and you're going to have those. It's just the reality of motorsports. That doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater. Have that 36 race episodic television spectacular that is the NASCAR season. Let's see uh, Kyle Larson. He gets out to that big lead after winning four of the first eight races. And then let's watch Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, um, William Byron, Chase Elliott all reel him back in as the season progresses.
Well,
Or
Logano wouldn't do that. Logano's cheated the system the last couple of years. He's been like 16th in points.
yeah,
Then this gets hot in those last 8 weeks.
yeah. I mean, it's just like what the Commanders are doing right
If he
now.
would stop that, it would stop. Oh, not really. The Commanders are on a freaking run just because they actually have a quarterback. Finally,
But I mean, you know what I mean. We see it in the stick and ball sports all the time. You got a team that gets hot at the right time and rides the momentum all the way to a championship. Joey Logano has perfected that system. And with the way that the playoffs are, whoever wins the first race in the round of eight wins the championship each and every single time. Especially since they've gone to Phoenix. It is too predictable at this point. I would rather see somebody clinch it with three races left because at least you know what's going to happen and
we
it
know who the
and
best driver is.
yeah, and the best drivers decided, but by the collection of the races. Points do not mean a damn thing anymore. Well, we had a good points day. Who cares? You win next weekend. None of it matters. It's become a joke. And then those are the big ones that I have. Is there anything outside of that that you have?
I mean, I agree with the charter system. I would take out, and then the point system. I'm okay with a playoff, but it needs to go back to the original chase format.
Yeah.
10 cars, two wild cards, and the two guys with the most wins that are not inside the top 10. And you would do the same. I would keep the points format where I'd go back to the original when they first started the chase format, like in, or what year was it? Whatever year they went back
Oh
to where it was
four.
like 4 points to win it, and it was 1 point to finish last.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
I think it was 2011 when they made that change.
yeah. They have that still.
No, it's different now. Like the last 5 cars will get like 0 points or something stupid.
Oh, it's 1 point 35
They they
35 on.
they messed with it. They
Yeah,
messed with it. It was dumb.
35 on gets 1 point.
Now it
Which I'm
still had to be 1 point all the way down because that makes more
yeah.
sense. But my biggest change that I would make is every week it would be the same format. You would have an hour practice session, qualifying, then race. Every week would be the same thing for Daytona, every race. Well, the only thing that would be different would be like the 500 because it is a bigger race. I would have the same format to start the week of practice, qualifying, and the duels. Then I would run another practice session, then the 500. It's where they'd be on track probably less than they are now, and everyone would have the same thing.
Yeah. I would go a little bit further than that. I would have practice qualifying and then bring back happy hour, have that practice after the Xfinity race, and then go into the race, into the cup
I would be
race.
okay with that too.
Uh, because that
But
would
like,
get,
I'm just going based on the fact of like if they want as little track time as possible to save them money and stuff like that, then just boom, practice qualifying race.
yeah,
If that's really their problem. If you want more track time, then I'm completely okay with that. Practice qualifying, happy hour, and then race.
yeah. And another
And
thing
go
that I
back
would,
to single car qualifying everywhere.
yes, yeah, yeah, 100%.
Only places they should not be doing single car qualifying is road courses.
Yeah, the group qualifying. Is it the group qualifying or is it knockout?
Right now they're in groups.
Okay,
They
yeah, that's
split the
fine.
field up in half. One group goes and the other group goes. No, every track should be single car qualifying except for road courses. That I would do the knockout because it's the simplest format for that.
Yeah, and
Because road courses, the draft doesn't matter. Every other track on the tour, the draft matters.
yeah, and one of the things that I would also do is make the cup cars, the Xfinity, and the trucks very close to each other as far as like how they drive, how they react. That way, it's a true farm system. The way that it
Well,
is
you have to
now,
scrap the next gen cars. You have to scrap the next gen cars completely at that point.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's they've either got to bring the Cup Series closer to the Xfinity or the Xfinity closer to Cup. Xfinity has provided the best racing, so the logical conclusion is you make the Cup cars closer to the Xfinity. And and like I said, actually make the Xfinity series mean something for the next series, for the Cup, and make the trucks mean something for the Xfinity series. And and I was actually able to talk to Cole Custer a few years ago at Daytona, and I asked him with when the new car was coming in, how much of a difference is the Cup car to the Xfinity? And he said it's night and day. There's so many differences, and it's that's not what's it's not a good thing for the Cup Series at all because it's like
No.
because now you're no longer comparing apples to apples. You're now pretty much running like with trying to train like in AAA, you're training them on a mound that is 6 feet higher and 4 feet further back, and the batter has a tennis racket instead of a baseball bat. It's stupid. It's
You're
completely
teaching them
different.
from women from WNBA to the NBA.
Yeah, yeah. It
It's a completely different game.
yeah. It needs to change, and it they need to get closer together. And that way you don't have these rookies that they come bursting onto the scene and then disappear for 3 years. Like William Byron is the best driver I have ever seen into the NASCAR at his age and do what he's done. And it took him 2.5 years to finally win a race, and that was at Daytona. That it should not be happening. It should not be taking that long, and that is something that NASCAR needs to fix. And also, I would bring, I would, uh, I would completely eliminate the limit of cup drivers coming down to the Xfinity or the trucks and running those series.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I know people found it very annoying that Kyle Busch was doing that quite a bit
I
and
think the
winning all the
only thing
time.
that I would limit is on races when like the Cup Series is not with them. They shouldn't be able to travel to them. That's my only thing.
I would be okay with that.
Because there's not many races where they are separated anymore.
Like,
There's like maybe five. So it's like if Cup guys have a weekend off, they should be able to go run the Xfinity race and then go get a ride.
yeah, I can definitely understand that.
That's the thing too, is we're in a day and age right now where sponsorship isn't just barking, they're not banging down these guys' doors anymore. Like it's not easy for these guys to get sponsored. Like you said, Chase Elliott is struggling to get sponsorship.
Yeah, and the
He's
big
the most popular driver for what, 5 years now,
ever since
if not
Dale Jr.
longer.
retired,
Yeah,
and
like the most
it
popular driver can't get sponsors.
and the thing with that is that they and that's another thing that's hurt NASCAR is there's no like brand familiarity. Like back in the day, that black car was Dale Earnhardt. The
The
Kellogg's car,
Rainbow car was Jeff Gordon.
the Kellogg's car was Texas Terry. And that brand recognition is gone, and that's not only hurting NASCAR, but it's hurting the sponsor itself. And
Yeah,
nowadays, and nowadays, like it is chasing the Napa car. Is it the Mountain Dew car? Is it the Sunlight, whatever it is, Sun Energy,
yeah. Or the
or
well, it
like
used to be the Hooters car, but not anymore.
yeah, yeah, Hooters went broke.
He lost the sponsorship.
Well, Hooters, the Hooters check bounced.
I don't know how. I'd go there every day if I could.
I bet you would. I bet
But
you
you wouldn't
would.
either.
That's what Twin Peaks is for. But
Actually, if I'm around, I don't have any Hooters around me anymore. They all closed.
yeah, I didn't know I didn't know the restraining order was up for you.
No, that's just some schools.
Oh, whoa. Oh
That's what you have
dear.
to cut out.
Nope, that's staying in.
No, it's not. We'll both get canceled.
Hey, I've already been canceled.
That's
There
funny.
there is a wing of
That's
this
funny.
channel that is politics. I've been canceled and I will get canceled again.
Yeah, aren't you the Wish Peter Griffin?
Okay, now that's getting cut out. Well,
That's still your name on my phone
Jesus. But
in the picture.
oh, good Lord. All because of some troll on TikTok. But yeah, I would I would definitely have the cup driver the allow the cup drivers to be in the Xfinity series far more often, be in the trucks far more often, just because it does make the Xfinity drivers better being on the track with those guys, and limiting them has hurt them more than helped them, and that has to change.
Yeah,
Anything else that you have?
nothing's all I can think of.
All right. Well, we'll end it there. Hopefully, you're the only one that gets canceled out of this. So,
Whoa. Just make sure they don't know my name. I'll be good.
yeah, yeah, we're
Yeah,
posting
my
it.
name is Dakota Bowman.
Oh, good Lord. He is not Dakota Bowman.
Gonna
He
get
is.
him canceled instead.
You gotta be interesting enough to get. Never mind. Never mind. But anyway, um, if
I
you
just feel like everybody
could.
watches this shit anyway. I'm gonna get canceled.
Oh, jeez. Hey, last time I did this kind of show, I got 4.5 thousand views. So,
Uh-huh.
so, um, if
Just
you're
because the
still,
mom told all of her little boyfriends to watch.
jeez, oh Pete, we've gone off the rails. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on podcast, make sure to download the podcast where we do motorsports, football, politics. We do it all here. And if Blaine has chased you away, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Hey, daddy's back.
Oh,
Daddy's
jeez.
back.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. We'll see y'all later.